Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Buying a House in Japan. Today is the day after Christmas.
Christmas edition.
Christmas edition, exactly.
Merikuri, Joey.
Merikuri is the short form for Merry Christmas in Japanese. Ake ome, akemashite omedetou gozaimasu
Mele Kalikimaka. Let's go.
in Hawaiian, yeah.
Did you eat any KFC? I never understood that. Did you ever do that when you were in Japan?
No, I saw a headline the other day. It was like, why Japanese eat KFC on Christmas? I didn't click the headline. I just figured it was kind of like how Coca-Cola started the whole Santa Claus and red thing in America. I feel like somehow KFC got intertwined with Christmas in Japan.
Yeah, it's like Amazon Prime Day. These companies are just like making their own holiday, which is interesting.
Christmas is also, it's more of a Valentine's Day in Japan. It's for couples. They don't do Christmas the way we do. It's like you go on a date on Christmas.
Well, anyways, hopefully we can someday insert ourselves into a holiday. Maybe we could do like Akimart Easter egg hunting.
Cinco de Akimart.
Speaking of, we hosted a party. When was that?
I thought it was earlier, but it was like first week of June or something.
First week of June, we threw a party in Tokyo. I think we're going to throw another one in February, Joey. What are we thinking?
Yeah, so we're heading back to Japan sometime in February. That was a good party. We just invited everybody that we had met along our journey up until that point. Our accountants, real estate agents we had worked with, our friend who runs a Mexican restaurant in Higashi Nakano. We rented out the space there. It was pretty good.
Shout out to Kuma Cantina. We're coming back for you. All right, Joey, what are we talking about today? I think this is going to be another Dear Diary series episode here. A little bit random, I'd say, but a lot of interesting updates over the past couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I do think like past couple of weeks we have focused a little bit more on the business side. So not too many updates regarding the houses, but there are a few. First one on the top of my head is the Kitakyushu property, Kitakyushu long-term rental.
As a reminder to everyone, this was a interesting property we got for $3,500. We had worked with someone named Keaton, who unfortunately, I'm not sure his health situation, but we have not heard from him for a long time. So we are a little bit on our own, and we've been navigating how to find a long-term tenant. It has been going okay, right, Joey?
Yeah, again, our friend Fumi, who's been helping us with the Beppu property, Beppu Hot Spring short-term rental. She's also been helping us with the Kitakyushu property now as well, helping us find a long-term tenant. So again, very valuable to have a Japanese speaker on the ground, close-ish to the house to help you out with different things. For example, like finding a long-term tenant.
Yeah, the real estate agent that we're working with does not speak any English, and I can tell they're very hesitant to work with us. So using Fumi as that go-between is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, the deal was Keaton was going to be there for up until we get our first tenant, and then he pulls out. But yeah, he had some health issues, and he left quite abruptly early on in this process. But we saw it through to the end, and now through this Fumi Nakano-san, the real estate agent, and now someone new, Ishimatsu-san, who I believe also works at what's the name of it? Answer Club.
Answer Club.
Answer Club is the name of the brokerage of where Nakano-san, the real estate agent that helped us buy the property, works. Answer Club, Ishimatsu-san is the one taking over to help us find long-term tenants. Now we're working in this chain of us to Fumi, Fumi to Ishimatsu-san.
Yeah, I guess shout out to Keaton, though. He did help set us up for the renovation. So there was like a quick renovation where they redid the tatami mats. And we have a video. I'm not sure if we posted it yet, but the Kitakyushu property is probably the best condition and cheapest property we've bought.
We learned a lot through the experience, especially when Keaton was still helping us. We got on a call with him and he gave us like wisdom dumped everything we need to know about how to get a cheap renovation in Japan in an hour-long session meeting we had with him. But then he had to leave for health reasons very shortly after that. Me and Take work on our own. But we did figure out a lot. We did learn a lot about renovation. Like you can just resurface tatami mats, for example. You can find a company that will just come in and just repair certain areas of wallpaper, right? You don't have to hire one big construction company that's going to do the entire renovation for you. That might be a good option. I'm not saying it's not a good option, but in terms of doing things cheaply, you can find these very targeted companies that will resurface tatami mats by the square meter or put up new wallpaper by the square meter. And that is really the cheapest way to do this kind of thing. Keaton did put us in touch with that company and gave them the lowdown, so we didn't have to do that work, but it was still a pretty good learning experience to see how very cheap renovation happens in Japan.
Yeah, this was our most efficient quote unquote turnaround. Like they came in, they chopped the garden down, they cleaned it, they resurfaced everything within I think 2 weeks, and it cost us maybe $1,000 if I'm thinking back correctly.
So cheap, yeah. They even took care of some of the garden. They pulled weeds, cut down some rogue bamboo, did the tatami mat resurfacing, a little bit of wallpaper, and I think that was more or less it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, our Beppu place is still ongoing, which we'll give updates later. But anyways, with this Kitakyushu property, we have it on market. Air horn. Bow, bow, bow. We suspect this was going to be our first property to make $1 for us. But we'll talk
We,
again. TBC's in there.
we actually came close with Kitakyushu long-term rental recently. We had a bite. So Answer Club put up a listing on their website. Listing's still up. Maybe we can link it in the show notes. And we got one bite so far. So yeah,
Before you go into that, we listed it for about Yomon, I think, or maybe Gomon. How much? I think Yomon, right?
I was just looking at it this morning. Yeah, 5 mon.
Oh, 5 mon. Okay, maybe we got to lower that price. But anyways,
which is 50,000 yen a month,
which translates to $300 ish, 350 US dollars. So very cheap. If anyone's listening to this and wants to rent out our KK or Kitakyushu long-term rental property, let us know.
On top of that, there's other benefits too of renting our property. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up in the background while I got it here. I'll send it to you, Taka, so you can look at it at the same time. Shikikin, Reikin are two things to be aware of in Japan when you're renting a house. And I don't claim to be a full expert on this. I've got like a 75% confidence in what I'm talking about here, but Shikikin, Reikin, we've waived both of those for this property. Roughly, I believe Shikikin is the security deposit and Reikin is some sort of historic artifact from after the World War II period. They were trying to encourage something in the housing market, and they allowed landlords to force that the new tenant pays them a gift, and that's the Reikin or key money. Basically, hey, we don't give you the key until you give me this gift money. So sometimes you'll hear it called gift money in English, and usually both of those are 1 month's rent. So it seems like when you renting an apartment in Japan or renting a house, you pay first month's rent, shikikin, which is security deposit, which is 1 month's rent, and then you pay reikin, which is non-refundable. You don't get this money back like a security deposit, and that's the gift money to the landlord.
So it's confusing, huh?
Yeah.
But we have it listed right now. I'm looking at these photos. Man, they took photos on like literally at the rainiest day. You could see it looks dark in these rooms. They could definitely have done a better job with photos.
Actually, I'm looking at this listing now. There's one more fee I forgot. So there's 3 fees. And then I can see the brokerage introduction fee here, which is 1.1 months rent. So basically 4x rent to move in for a month, and only one of those you get back. One is rent, one is security deposit, and then the other two are literally just fees that you have to pay.
What is the Zen Kankyo fee? Do you know what non-life insurance? Do you see that? It's a little further down. It says they need to have a guarantor, and they also need a Zen Kankyo fee, which is non-life insurance.
Oh, whoa, you're right. Okay, there's more fees here, everybody. There's a fee to change the locks, which is what I believe that is, 1.7 man. And then there's exactly what Zen Kankyo fee. No idea what that is. Never heard of it before. 1.8 man. The gist of it is this is our property. We don't even know all these fees that we're charging these. Maybe Answer Club is just going to pocket them. We're not sure. But if you were trying to rent a place in Japan, I think the gist of it is there's lots of fees just to move in.
Yeah, almost prohibitively. I think we should actually reach out to Answer Club and just be like, hey, let's take this off. I like in the recommended points, the house is equipped with large closet and designed consideration for those with a lot of luggage and women, is what they call it. A rare property that allows pets. You can spend time with your precious family, Jerry. All right, tell us about the first candidate we had reach out to us.
Okay, the dog lady.
Dog lady.
Ishimatsu-san reached out to us through Fumi saying, hey, we got a bite, but it's a dog breeder, and she has 15 dogs. That's all we knew about it.
Oh,
Yeah, 15
goodness.
dogs is a lot, but it could just be like 2
Baby.
litters of puppies. Yeah, so maybe, I don't know, 3 dogs and then the rest are puppies. We're not sure. At first, I think, talking me and you were, no, it's going to destroy the house. But again, this is a little bit of our throwaway property in the sense that a lot of the reason why we bought this property was just to explore the long-term rental market and learn about buying for cheap, renovating for cheap, and then getting a cheap renter in there as well, cheap tenant. I think we had a discussion. We're like, okay, as long as this person doesn't seem like there's any real red flags. Okay, $15 is definitely a red flag, but let's assume this is a very responsible person. The house will likely have some damage as a result of $15. But if it is a responsible person, it could be minimal still. And so we're like, all right, it is a funny story, the 15 dogs. There is a slight chance that this person is a responsible person. So we asked Ishimatsu-san to show the person the house. And we asked him, like, hey,
Is this
feel
lady
this
crazy?
person out. Yeah, is this person crazy or not? Feel the person out and let us know how it goes.
She also offered Hachiman, which is like double of what we were asking. So we're like, what? So,
And
oh,
Ishimatsu-san said he can probably get Hachiman
oh,
8 mon a month out of her if we wanted to proceed with her.
okay, okay. So it sounds like it's interesting. Dog friendly house rentals are not common, understandably. Dog friendly houses for 15 dogs is definitely very uncommon. Good to know if we ever need to make a, it's a good lever to pull on, I believe. But either way, fast forwarding a little bit, Fumi came back to us, I think 2 weeks ago and said, like, the lady failed to show up. Maybe she showed up like 40 minutes late. She started complaining about the real estate agent, and the real estate agent's like, F this, I'm not going to work with her.
Exactly what
So
happened.
we are back on the market. Unfortunately, our first bite was unsuccessful. But Joey, I think looking at this listing, there's a lot to optimize here. Whether it be like photos, price. I'm happy to pay the key fee and stuff if it means getting someone in here.
I agree. I think there's too many like just us going over this listing together and trying to explain it in real time. There's a lot of fees here, junk fees. Yeah, whatever that key thing is, the Zen Kankyo, whatever that is. Yeah, let's see if we can waive these.
This route really might be a move to make profit. Again, we have a couple properties in our names. None of them are really making us money. This might be the move. What do you think, Joey?
I think from a pure ROI numbers, I think it is. Like a lot of smart people in the Japan real estate space right now, they're buying these kind of properties and getting long-term rental or renters in them. Maybe not as cheap as this one we got, but a lot of people in the kind of Kanagawa area, a lot of people listening to Ziv's podcast, many of them are interested in investment per long-term investments.
Okay, so if we do rent this out, again, this is back of napkin numbers here. We rent this out for 50,000 yen or goman. That roughly equates to around $300. Let's see. I got a calculator. That's about $4,000 gross we would be making per year. We paid about that much for the property. After fees and all, it'd probably take 2 years to recoup our money, right? Not bad. But again, we're not making any money on it yet. So let's see. I am bullish though. If we could just keep picking up properties like this and renting them out to locals, that really is a feasible way to make money here.
Yeah, and this is the Keaton strategy. I feel like we've said that term before. Like this really is what Keaton was all about, stacking properties like this, buy them for cheap, renovate them for cheap, and then just get a cheap tenant in there and keep stacking them. And the property will pay itself off in less than 4 years. And then you just keep stacking them like that.
Question is, how do we find properties like this? We don't have Keaton, unfortunately, on the ground. This is something we've been thinking about a lot. How do we find off market deals? Any ideas here for 2025, Joey?
Yeah, I believe Keaton was trying to show us the way. So at one point, we were looking at properties in Beppu. This was all just online through a WhatsApp group that we had. And he linked a bunch of properties. Some of the things he said I remember was look in the $20,000 to $30,000 US range. Look for properties that seem like they don't have a driveway or don't have pictures of the inside or slightly undesirable. If you were looking at this as from a vacation home lens, yeah, 20 to 30K looks great, but let's see, okay, got the pit toilet, for example, or like I said, doesn't have just something that where you pass on this property for whatever reason. Those are the ones where he believes you make a lowball offer and It'll likely get rejected off the bat, but you do that to 10 properties, you might get a win. Someone might sell.
Let's see, 2025, hopefully the year of off market deals for us. But Joey, very worst case scenario, we could live here, very livable, right?
Yeah, very livable. So again, so this specific property, if I was Keaton looking at this on like At Home or Sumo, this one is in a very hilly area. It's at the top of this very narrow streets, hilly area.
Very San
Again,
Francisco like, in a good way, actually. Good and bad way, driving wise.
yeah, but just imagine walking home from the train station up that hill every day. It's pretty. I
It's
understand why it's not. I wouldn't not call this a desirable area.
okay. I think it's like a little romantic, I'd say, like Japanese anime. When we went to the stairway that goes down to the train station, it's pretty cool. I don't know. We
That
haven't
was
spent
cool.
enough time.
Yeah, we haven't spent enough time there. There were some cool spots. Yeah, like that staircase we did see. It was like this very long staircase, and you get this view of Kitakyushu Harbor a little bit in the background. Phenomenal for what we paid for it.
Yep. All right. So Kitakyushu, a long-term rental. We are bullish. We are probably going to lower the rent a little bit. I don't think it needs to be this high. It's been on market for about 2 weeks. Not too
Hold
long.
on.
Not too worried yet. But all right, Joey, let's flip gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about our Tokyo Suburban midterm rental. What's the deal there?
Okay, big news. We're getting the garden taken care of. So, someone I met at Anton Warman had a little get together at one of his properties in Chiba. He's got a few in Chiba, I think now. But at it's a very large house there. He had a little bit of a get together with other Akiya enthusiasts, and I met this guy, Josh. Josh is hoping to start a landscaping business in and around the Tokyo area, but seems willing to travel as well. He's a landscaper from the UK and very big into permaculture. So, our property in Tama City used to have a bunch of trees around it, and it looks like a little bit more greenery, probably very similar to what the neighbors have, some trees and a little bit of a garden. But it was abandoned for 10 years, and that probably turned into a jungle. So our art, the company that renovated it and flipped it to us, they just cut all the trees down, covered everything with a layer of gravel. And so we asked Josh to come take a look at the garden and give us a quote for make it a little bit nicer, build a plan, hopefully some sort of garden that maintains itself with a natural rain cycle. We're also trying to get a very cool rock there. But yeah, Josh is hard at work on the property right now.
High impact rock. That's all I want. And our house is like a little bit perched up on like a platform, so we might need a crane. I just keep telling Josh on WhatsApp, like, Josh, we need a high impact rock. He keeps sending us this stuff. We have one candidate. Joey, what are your thoughts on the tall $1,000 pillar rock we're looking at?
I think it's going to have to go on its side. So,
Oh, no.
one, it's interesting that it's like Canadian rock. It looks like it was
Right.
sourced in Canada or something. So, not sure. Can't get a rock from Japan. So, the idea with the rock is some kind of big, impactful rock in the garden with a little bench and maybe more of a Japanese style garden in that area. A lot of the rest of the garden is going to be more like local plants and stuff that'll survive with the natural rain cycle. So, the other concern is that this is right over our garage. Our garage is a empty concrete box, and then on top of that is the yard. It's like the property is elevated off the street level. So then
Mhm.
putting a big rock on top of our concrete garage, which is the concrete's already cracked to begin with, none on the ceiling or the roof of it, but I do have some weight concerns there. And
Yeah.
also, Josh mentioned that if you want to stick a rock straight up like a pillar, a lot of that rock, I can't remember if he said 50% of it, needs to be below grade as well for safety reasons so the rock doesn't fall over onto somebody. And I don't know if we can go that deep with the garage there as well. The rock might have to lay on its side.
Damn. All right. Well, thank you, Josh, for handling first off. He's been sending us photos of him like digging up giant roots from the old trees. Great work, Josh.
Yeah, we'll put some pictures on the Instagram account of the garden progress too. But also, if anybody needs a gardener, reach out and we can put you in touch with Josh.
Yep. So this is his pilot project with us. We do hope to drive his business. So let's see how he does. He's actually manning down the fort in our rental there, living in it and being our customer zero or customer one. So good feedback from him. And Josh, if you're listening to this, thank you. Speaking of that property, we found a property manager through this process, right?
Yeah, we did. Someone in the neighborhood, Belgian family, moved into the neighborhood. They speak English. They also seem to speak a little bit of Japanese, or at least have Japanese friends that they can connect with. I thought they were much newer in the neighborhood, so either they're very friendly and are making friends very quickly, or they've actually been around for a while.
It's funny. Hada-san was like, "Hey Joey, you got to meet this other foreigner in the neighborhood." Or like, "How did you guys meet?"
Yeah. So actually, I was at the house and Josh had came over to do some measuring of the garden. So me and Josh are just standing outside with measuring tapes and that kind of stuff. And Hara-san, our immediate neighbor, Japanese elder retired couple, comes up. He said, "Oh, there's a community barbecue happening at one of the local parks here. You should come." And I said, "I would love to come, but me and Josh are measuring the garden. Don't know when." Anyways, just said, "Oh, I would love to come, but sorry, I can't make it." And then later on that day, he comes walking back up with his family, two parents and a kid. And he was like, "Hey, Joey." Yeah, basically, as you said, Tiger, "Hey, there's some other foreigners in
You're
the neighborhood.
gaijin. Here's some
Yeah,
other
you're,
gaijin.
yeah, you're Gaijin. You're Gaijin. Like, you guys should hang out." So, yeah, met them. Really nice family. They're scientists or something, is what they told us. And husband's working somewhere in Tokyo. And they decided to move here as a family. And the wife, we asked her if she wanted to help out with property management.
Super, super helpful. And I think this may be one of our top questions for people we're helping through the buying process is like property management. What do I do once I get the property? I think this is like a top priority. Find someone on the ground. Luckily, this family is very close in our neighborhood and can like walk over. "Hey, Linda, can you check our car and see if the battery's dead?" And she went over there and handled. So this would have been honestly a bitch for us to organize with one of our friends because Tom was a little far. So it's feeling really good that we have someone at least in the neighborhood that can help us. And again, everyone we've interviewed through our Akimart Direct Buyers Club has said the same thing. You need to find someone, and it's not as hard as you think it is to find someone in the neighborhood to help you.
Yeah, everybody's asking, "Hey, what about property management? Do you guys have anything set up?" The unfortunate answer is we don't, especially say you're buying on an island in the middle of the Seto Inland Sea. We just don't have any connections in that area and it's hard for people to travel to. The best thing you can do is get in there and start meeting your neighbors. Bring them a little bit of some omiyage or a little present or something, some mikan, and finding someone local on the ground, especially someone that can speak English. That's that's the way to do it. In fact, so much so that me and Take we're talking to each other. We're like, buying in an area where we know somebody is really
Mhm.
the move here.
Yeah, that's really what we've done. We have not actively sought out new cities. It's been like people have been coming to us and be like, "Hey, are you interested in buying this property?" And we're like, "Yeah." It's been interesting. I never thought we'd buy where we have at this point.
Yeah, I think we did a teaser for the Nagasaki property. One of the agents that we're partnering with, it's her grandparents' home. And we're thinking like one of the criteria for purchasing this property is, hey, does she know anybody that lives around there that speaks English that might be interested in property managing this property? That's a real factor that we're considering when we're thinking about buying this house.
Our Tokyo Suburban Midstay, is what we're calling it again, is ready to go 90% of the way. We actually have our first renter, two renters actually, one in March and one in April timeframe. Awesome. If you are listening to this and you're interested, we put up a site called akia-stay.com where we're putting all our rentals. We do hope to house actually other people's rentals at some point. I think the purpose of this site will be more for midterm rentals. So if you're interested in booking, akia-stay.com for Tama Base Camp or Tokyo Suburban midterm rental. I'm glad we have a property manager in place, someone in the neighborhood. We have a car. We're going to have a sweet garden soon, too.
The Tokyo suburb midterm rental is almost ready. I would say
Yeah.
Josh can be working on the garden. The garden doesn't need to be finished for us to start renting that place out. So I would say it's very close to being done. The one other consideration with that
Ooh, yeah.
property is insulation. So again, Linda, property manager in the neighborhood, has actually she has been great. She's been quite proactive. She's the one that told us about this insulation company where they go underneath the floor. So usually in Japanese homes, usually in the kitchen, there's a it's almost like a little storage under the floor. You lift up the floorboards and then there's a little kind of plastic big Tupperware container there that you can store root vegetables and potatoes and that kind of stuff in. But you lift that up and then you get access to the crawl space underneath the floor. And she said they go in through there with these foam spray insulation tubes and then shove that up into the wall cavity. And that's how they spray foam insulation into the walls. And I've also seen just on YouTube, sometimes they'll drill a hole. If they can't access an area, they'll drill a hole through a wall from the outside into the house and then stick the tube in there as well. So that's something that we're thinking of getting done sooner than later. When I was there in the summer, pretty brutal being inside with the heat. And now Josh, the landscaper who is staying in the house right now-ish, December 26th in the winter, he's talking about the same thing, but the opposite problem. It's the same temperature inside as outside.
Yeah, and Linda found this one company. It's like a Danetsu, which is an insulation company in Japan that she recommended. I'm looking at their website right now, Joey. It's quite reasonable, like 2.5 to 3 million yen, which is what, like 20K US to insulate the entire house. They're going to replace the windows with double pane
Yeah, that's
glass too.
great.
If this is real, I do think this is worth it. This is like an unreal price compared to the States, in my opinion, to insulate the walls and double pane the windows.
I do think that the sweet spot time zones in Japan, like at least around Tokyo, kind of Honshu area, spring, like maybe March, April, May, and then fall, September, October, November. I think those are the sweet spots temperature wise. If you're thinking of spending time in Japan outside of those time frames, so summer and winter, and you're buying a house there, I really think you need to consider insulation.
Yep. Yep. Let's see if this company does a good job. Because if they do, I think we just do this with every one of our houses. I'm excited to hear from some of the customers we've helped purchase Akias, and I'm curious what their thoughts on insulation. We've helped recently a couple people buy in Nagano area where it's cold where they are right now. I'm sure they're going to be feeling the need for insulation as well.
Yeah, we talked to Eric, but Eric was actually there during the October, November.
Yeah.
So Eric was there during the sweet spot months.
Speaking of cold, Joey, what's the Myoko snow cabin update?
Oh, we got our first snowfall where the snow removal company said, "Yep, time to remove the snow from the roof." So we got dumped on apparently 1.5 meters at least. I've seen it in some of Matt Guy's videos too. They are getting a lot of snow.
Yeah, this is my first house I've owned in a snowy area, so I have like, no idea, but I'm fearful of the house caving in.
This is
Um,
a lot of snow. This isn't just like your first house in a snowy area. You've gone to the extreme here.
let's go. I was watching Matt Guy's videos and just seeing like how much snow was dumping. I was like, we have this buddy who's helping us out coordinate the snow removal, and I'm just like, yo, dude, is this okay? And he's like, yeah, don't worry, it's not 1.5 meters. But yeah, I'll post it. I'll make this the podcast cover. It's a cool shot. I really like how much snow is on our house.
Yep, it's a good shot. What are we paying for snow removal? Like $300 a pop to remove snow from, I
Yeah,
guess,
we're
the
definitely
walkway and roof.
we're getting the foreigner price, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. So just know if you are buying in the snowy areas and you need to get, as a foreigner, snow removed, let's see. How much did he charge us? Actually, we did also check with Matt Guy, YouTube guy, if this was reasonable. He said, yeah, over 1.5 meter snowfall, it's going to be 44,000 yen, which is 300 US dollars. Expensive, huh?
Yeah, I wonder how many times we're going to have this throughout the year. What is it? About a few days ago. So first time
Maybe once a
December.
month, maybe.
I'm thinking it could be more, but we'll see how it goes. I'm guessing twice a month.
Damn. Honestly, though, even if I was there, I would still pay someone to do this, I think, versus me
Definitely.
trying to go up on the roof and figure it out. So this is like a necessary cost. But actually, we're swerving our plans on Myoko Snow Cabin. We are looking at potentially getting a new build. We're talking to a company called Sekisui Chemical who make a home called Sekisui Heim. We might be one of their first foreign customers trying to buy a new build. So we're navigating that space. Hopefully this time next year, Joey, we have a new build home in Myoko.
I think that'd be nice. I didn't love the Myoko house kind of layout, very low ceiling, and felt dark in there a little bit. So no love lost bulldozing that house.
What do we do with all this stuff inside, though?
So I was talking to my brothers for the Christmas in Nova Scotia, and he was like, people would pay. Remember that show? I don't know if you saw it, but Storage Wars on Discovery Channel,
Yeah.
where people would buy abandoned storage units for all the stuff in there. There is some excitement there for, especially for Japanese kind of like storage units. It is interesting. It's a Japanese house, so it's got interesting stuff in there. I just don't know if there's money in the space. I think people would be interested in buying it, but to make money off a business doing that, I just don't know if there's enough money there. But potentially, you take everything out of the house, put it in a storage container, and then auction it.
I would pay money for people to take our stuff. I
And
don't
that's
know.
the flip side. Just to get it removed from the house and thrown in the dump it's like $1,000, two
I
thousand
guess
bucks.
Eric did say in our last podcast that he found pearl necklace, so that's cool. I guess, Jerry, we should go through the house one more time in depth. By the way, are utilities in our name yet? We got to figure that out. Is there electricity?
It was weird that the house had electricity on. I don't know anything about utilities there, but I don't think we're paying for it unless Yoshi hooks something up.
It doesn't feel like these houses are ours, even though they are. It's really funny. I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh, we have a house in Myoko right now.
yeah, it doesn't feel real. If J-Lux, the Beppu Hot Spring short-term rental, and Tokyo Suburb midterm rental, those do seem more like they're ours. The other two don't. It's true.
Okay. At this point, congratulations, Joey. You went from owning 0 homes to 4 homes, 5 homes, maybe 6 homes soon within a year. So it's been a whirlwind of a 2024, right?
It has. And I was thinking about the podcast as well. Did we do 52 episodes in 52 weeks this year?
Let's see. We've done 59 episodes. Our first podcast was posted December 20. Yo, we did it. We did one podcast a week for this entire year.
Congratulations.
Whew. And a shout out and thank you for our listeners. We have 234 people, according to Spotify Wrapped, that are top listeners of the podcast. Who would have thought, Joey?
Yep. It's all thanks to you guys.
Give us a smash the like button. We have some likes now. I'm pumped. This is taking off the ground here.
Send the gift of Akia to your friends this season.
Send the gift of Akia to your friends. What's coming in 2025, Jerry? We have a podcast editor that might be editing a couple episodes, so hopefully leveling up here. What are you excited for? 2025 predictions in the market and also 25 predictions on how many Akias are we going to buy?
I think one thing that's going to happen in 2025 is we're going to explore a mortgage, a little bit of not a roundabout way, but we can't get a loan directly from a Japanese bank, but there is an option we're exploring with the Japanese loan officer who's based in Berkeley. So, and that's where the Myoko property comes into play. So I think 2025, new mortgage, new build Myoko, I do predict that.
Okay. I agree with you. I also do predict we will have Airbnb in Beppu ready to go. So we're going to get a little deeper in the Minpaku or Airbnb side. We'll do a full other episode. Joey's been deep in the weeds on the Airbnb rules and zoning laws. More to come there. So I do hope we get Airbnb up and running. The barrier to entry is just so high, Joey, that I do think we can figure this out. And once we get a couple Airbnbs running, I think there's a road to profitability.
I'm excited to get the Beppu Hot Springs short-term rental property painted, get the outside painted.
Let's see. Sato-san, no word from him. I saw a video recently. He did put some insulation in, which is good.
Yeah.
There we go. I feel like we're really a broken record. I have a video of us on our first boot tour saying the property is going to be done January 2024. Boy, were we fools.
January 2024. It's not even going to be done January 2025. Yeah. Lesson learned there. What else? How many, if you had to guess, Take, how many random of the Kitakyushu long-term rental property, Myoko, snow cabin, like in the sub $5,000 properties are we going to pick up in 2025?
I'm shooting high. 10.
Whoa.
10.
I was thinking definitely two are on our radar right now in Nagasaki, but could be more. In all honesty, could be more. If I had to guess, we're gonna try another Kitakyushu long-term rental style as well, just in case the Kitakyushu property starts turning a profit. Like if it's our first property to turn a profit and it's consistent, that
pretty smart, right?
Pretty smart, yeah.
I'm really interested in 2025 on a little bit like arbitrage flipping, but kind of the Akimart seal of approval. We have our ear to the ground. We're getting some of these deals. They're good deals too. You know, I think we've talked to over 400 people this year on what people want, and it seems like someone wants us to go and verify that, hey, this property is legit. It's not haunted. structurally sound, set it up with utilities, set it up with a property manager, set up with a car. So I think there's a lot of service we can provide, and maybe not flip these properties, but get them ready and resell them to foreigners and package them as, hey, this property's done. You don't need to do anything to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a risk on our part there because we kind of need to read the tea leaves. Like, hey, we find this property, we think it's good. Say, for example, in Nagasaki near a beach, and we think it's good, but then we purchase it, do a light renovations, building inspection, get the Minpaku license, and then slap our stamp, Akiyamart seal of approval on top of it. But is anybody else interested in this area? I do feel like a lot of buyers come to us and they're like Myoko, or it's got to be within an hour's drive to Tokyo or something like that. Like people do have specifics location wise, specific criteria location wise that they're looking for.
Let's see. We might just end up with a whole bunch of empty houses all over Japan. But I don't know. Either way, I think it's fun, and we are customer zero here. I like to think trailblazing where people don't really want to go. I do think if we see value in a property and we verify and sign off like this is a legit property, someone will want it, especially if we keep the price low.
Yeah, let us know if anybody thinks this is a good idea. Let us know if you think it's a bad idea. Let us know too.
Yep. Cool, Joey. It's been a great year. I think we're going to take a break from the podcast for a couple of weeks. I'm going to go to Vegas and gamble a little bit. Any New Year's Eve plans for you?
No, I'll be hanging out in Nova Scotia here. No real plans, but you enjoy Vegas.
Okay. Cool, man. We'll catch you later.